Good morning. $3:32. $9 degrees. Wow. Thought it was a bit nippy.
At the end of the road, turn right, then, at the end of the road, turn left.
First time I've seen 8 degrees. First time I've seen it in single figures for weeks. What's he doing? First. So last day today. On holiday for 2 weeks. Going to Bonnie, Scotland.
Turn right, then, at the end of the road, turn left.
And we're staying in our caravan on the banks of Loch Ness. Oh, the wife was working.
Turn left, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Put the heating on. I'm still in my shorts, like.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit, A34, towards Newbury.
So the plan today. So I suppose I've got two 20s on. And as they planned me on a 15-hour day yesterday, and I said no, I'm not working a 15-hour day, so that box that you expected off, I wouldn't have got. See, the trouble is, I wouldn't have got into Southampton until around nearly 14 hours were up.
Follow A34.
About 13 and a half. No, actually no, it would have been 14 because of the roadworks. And then they wanted me to go into a container yard and then get it back to the yard. And I said, no, I ain't got time for that. I'm going to run out of time. I'm not doing it. You shouldn't have planned me on a 15-hour day. That's this is my point exactly. Don't plan me on a 15-hour day. Then you won't be disappointed, because today you're going to be disappointed. So I did 13 and a half hours yesterday. No, 12 and a half hours yesterday. Nearly up to be 13. And but that does mean that my box that I've got on, I can't get it lifted off until 6 o'clock this morning, which is obviously going to be too late to get the job done that I need to get done, that they got me planned for. So either give me a different job, or the alternative is dump this trailer in the yard and you can get someone else to churn the boxes around. But don't look at me. And I could pick an empty skeleton trailer up, and then I could go down the docks for 5 o'clock and be on my way up to Tame for 8:30, tip and back down and go home. Because I've got to clean the truck, I've got to empty all my gear out of the truck. And that takes an hour, hour and a half, something like that. By the time I've emptied it all out and then cleaned it out, it's a royal ball ache. But I'm away for 2 weeks and I don't like anyone else. And there's going to be other people living in my truck, I suspect, maybe on days, or who knows, it might just sit there for 2 weeks. Nobody wants it with only one bloody mirror. Well, I'll say it's got 2 mirrors, but one's a mirror cam and one's a traditional mirror, so it really fucks with your head unless you're used to it. So yeah, That's what happens when you plan someone on a 15-hour day. It done that. Whereas I might have, you know, in days gone old, I might have gone, oh, push on. No, I'm not. It's just detrimental to my health. I ain't doing it. No, even yesterday I wouldn't have gone full, because it's just. You see anything? Yeah, I can see something there. It's just not it's not worth it. I'd have Winchester, all the roadworks going through Winchester to contend with. The Winchester at Tottenham Bridge, I'd have to go through twice. Well, that's another half hour, 40 minutes in itself. So no, I ain't got time. Shouldn't have planned before it. You know, the complications, I mean, you had 2 20s on yesterday, so it's not like just going to one job, tipping and coming out and heading back down the road. It's 2 jobs and a box switch. So you're adding in complications and time for fuckwittery. Not that there was any yesterday, everything went fairly smoothly, but, you know, time gets eaten away rather quickly. I suppose it didn't help at that place where I had to hand my keys in before I could get the seal cut. Normally what happens is you back on a bay, they cut the seal, you pull forwards, open the doors, back onto the bay, go in, hand your keys in, back your cab, do whatever you want until they finished unloading. No, not this place. Back onto the bay, hand your keys in. Then they cut the seal. Then you go back to get your keys, back to your truck, pull forwards, open the doors, back on the bay, go back, hand your keys in. And this is that, you know, it's like, it's like, oh, have you got any paperwork? I said, no, it's all on PDA. We don't deal in paperwork. But we've got no record of you coming. Yeah, yes you have. What's that there? You just read my box number out. Yeah. I said, so you have got a record? Because you know I'm coming. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a bit of paper so it lets you out. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need a bit of paper to let me out. I don't need anything. All I need is a surname. Go on my PDA. Yeah, but you need a bit of paper. What? Who for? For you? No, I don't need it. I don't need a bit of paper for me. Well, how do you record it? I said it goes on a PDA. Oh. Still need a bit of paper. Oh, can you write? No, you got to write. So I've got to write a bit of paper out that I don't need. Yeah. Can you stop and listen to yourself for a minute? It's like, oh fucking hell. Right, I'll go and do it just to shut you up. Right, so, you know, that's another 5-10 minutes. So I walk back to the truck. Do you want my keys while I'm waiting? No. Walk back to the truck, write the paperwork, write it back in. They sign it. I walk back to the truck. Oh yeah, here's your paper. I don't need it, mate. What do you mean you don't need it? I don't need it. How many times have I got to say to you, I don't need a bit of paper with your signature on. I've got your surname. That's all I need. You've got it for your records. I don't. Well, you asked for it. Sometimes it's like, go for a job in a warehouse and become a manager in a warehouse. You're going to have half your brain removed. And they had stock all over the place in there. All the bays were filled with stock that they haven't either put away or got going out. There was one foreign lad, he was parked up when I got there, and he was still there when I left, and I hadn't even got him on a bait. So I don't know what his problem was. Probably them indoors. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going on holiday, so I really don't give a fuck. So I've given myself loads of time to get down here. Get down here. Get down here. Swap trailers. May need a splash of fuel, don't know yet. Undecided. But I can get away without getting it until later on this afternoon. I don't have to do it twice. Any of ours up here? Tot Hill Billy, where are you? See him. So, that's about it really. Oh yeah, bloody hell. Day of it yesterday, wasn't it? Phone call from my daughter, her grandma's died. She was my mother-in-law number one. She died at 7:30 in the morning. She'd had cancer for a good 6+ months, maybe even 12 months. And the last 6 to 8 weeks have been particularly gruesome for her. So she was a good age. I think she was in her 90s, and she was a lovely woman. She was a fantastic cook. Well, I'll come on about her cooking in a minute. I always remember one of the first memories I have of her was when I first started going out with my ex-wife number one. Was that we were over at the Blandford Conservative Club, because we're posh down this end. So we were drinking in there. Her, me, my ex-wife, girlfriend at the time, and her mum and her dad. And it was dark. By the time we'd left, it was dark. We were driving across. For anyone that knows it, the Blandford to Shaftesbury High Road. And we're driving on, and anyone who knows it, there's no street lights, there's no nothing, there's not any villages even up there. It's like there's nothing there. It's dark, proper dark. No light pollution at all, nothing. And the roads are quite, not laney, but they're not far off. It's a B road. So anyway, we're on dip beam. She wants to go on the main beam, but instead of going on the main beam, she manages to turn the lights off, and then doesn't know how to turn them back on again. There was a lot of screaming by all occupants. Eventually managed to find them. Jeez. I think that was the contribution of my father-in-law. Decided to drink and drive after that. He wouldn't let her drive. He'd rather take the chance of being pissed and driving and killing himself and others rather than let my mother-in-law drive. and potentially kill herself or others. You know, it's like it was like the worst of which is the worst of two evils. Oh, just letting my mother-in-law drive sober was a worse option than my father-in-law driving pissed. Yeah, I always remember that. That was an old Ford Escort Mark II. Mark III, sorry. Mark III? Gotta think about this. Either or. Orange. Brown vinyl roof. 4-door. Anyway. Her cooking was, she had the smallest kitchen in the world. I've seen bigger kitchens on canal boats. Do you know what I mean? It was tiny. It wasn't even a galley kitchen. It was less than that. There was enough room. There was just enough room on her worktops to put down a baking tray. Do you know what I mean? It was like there was no room in it, but she made some fantastic food. And well, two things I always remember. Three things I always remember her cooking was roast dinners were legendary, and she could cook for like 10-12 people, no problem at all, in this minute kitchen, and it would be spot on, absolutely spot on. She was really good. She'd also make pumpkin soup, which was one of the best soups I think I've ever had in my life. It was just I don't know what she did. I don't know how she did it or what she did, but it was really, really good. And she also did an amazing pheasant casserole, and it was just such a rich sauce, if you like, or gravy, juice, whatever you want to call it, the liquid. And it was just that, and you know, mashed potato and some cabbage, and you know, when you have a meal and you go, right, something like roast pheasant, like that pheasant casserole, and it's like I dare not eat it anywhere else or have it ever again, because I know I'm going to be disappointed, because it would not match up to the taste I remember of that one. Yeah. But you don't see it very often, do you? When was the last time you saw a pheasant casserole? I dare say if I did see it, I would have it, just to disappoint myself. Do you know what I mean? Yes. So yeah, she was a good cook. Yeah, lovely lady. And she was, like I said, she was always very kind to me. Always. Life goes on, doesn't it? You know, life goes on, goes forwards. It's the way it is. way it goes. And it's, you know, it was a life well lived. They lived all over they lived in lots of different places. I think one of their most favourite times, they lived in Singapore for a bit. And they went on some amazing holidays. They'd always have a, you know, once a year they'd have a really nice holiday. They do lots of trips out as well. They're always doing stuff, you know. They had a good social life. They were doing things. My husband, my father-in-law Clive, he's ex-Royal Signals. He was an ex-Yeoman of Signals. Foreman of Signals. So I didn't know that until I, you know. Yeah. So we got on pretty well. Well, yeah, we got on well. Yeah, no, we did. We got on really well, actually. He loved it when all the lads come across from my first wedding, and they were playing up. He loved it. He died. He went the best way I think there ever is. He hadn't been ill. He hadn't been, you know, he hadn't been, you know, he wasn't in tip-top condition, but he wasn't ill, you know, just old age had sort of, you know, caught up with him. He'd retired and everything, so he was in his mid-70s, I think, if I remember rightly, and late 70s, and when Jane left him, he was sat in his chair reading the paper, and she went out and did some shopping, and she came back about an hour or so later. She called out, no response, and popped her head into the sitting room. Saw him there. He was sat in his chair, his head, you know, back, newspaper over his chest, looked like he'd fallen asleep. Yeah. So she went in, made a cup of tea, you know, unpacked the shopping, called out, "You want a cup of tea, or a cup of coffee, or whatever it was?" No response. Went back in. He'd gone. Just gone, you know. No thrashing about or calling out or crawling around the floor or falling out the chair or anything like, just peaceful. You couldn't have got more peaceful. God, you know. My daughter took it quite badly because when she was growing up, childcare was by her grandma, you know. So there was obviously a close attachment, a bond at a very early age. So yeah, so she was, you know, we all knew it was coming. Daughter knew that it was, you know, it was imminent, and went down to see her, and, you know, seen her quite a few times, and you know, knew it was happening. I mean, she's 20, my daughter's 29, so she knows the school. She's not a youngster, a thick-old youngster, and you know, she her grandma died. So she was upset when I spoke to her yesterday. And she was there going to a funeral later that day, so just to put the icing on the cake. Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, mother-in-law goes in for her operation today. Gorgeous Kia waiting to see her yesterday. Gorgeous Kia waiting to see her yesterday, and she was really happy. She's the only woman I know, well, she's the only person I know that's actually looking forward to open heart surgery. I think she just wants to get it done. She's happy. She's met the consultant who's doing the operation, and she thinks he's a really lovely man. And they made me laugh because they said, oh, they googled him and he's got 5 stars. Well, you'd like to think he was, you know, you'd like to think that he did have 5 stars as a surgeon who performs open heart surgery. I mean, if you get a 0 star, what's that for? Is that like the bloke who didn't make it through? He's like, how did he do that? You get a Ouija board out, come back from the dead. Come on, my son, what are you doing here? Dawdling? Or are you about to build your speed up? Yeah, no, I don't know what you're doing. Dawdling along. Fishy flashing? No, no fishy flashing. Thank you. So yeah, she's quite looking forward to it. I don't know what time the op is today. And my mother-in-law's quite glamorous. When she was in her younger days, she was a part-time model. I mean, she was a good-looking girl. And she's still glamorous today, you know. She's, what is she, 75? 75, and for 75, yeah, she looks good. You know, glammed up. And they left her wearing sunglasses in bed yesterday. Jackie Onassis. Oh dear. So anyway, yeah, she has her op today, lads. So fingers crossed that goes well. The neighbour, whose son took a drug overdose, had the machine switched off yesterday, I believe. Yeah, he started going downhill. They brought him off the machine. Well, off the machine. They brought him out of his coma, and he didn't wake up. He was brain damaged. And apparently, yes, last night, early hours in the morning, he started going downhill. Called our neighbour in, which gorgeous Kira took her in, and yeah, took her in, and yeah, sad. But like I say, if you dance with the devil, don't be surprised when he steps on your toes. Don't do drugs, kids. That's the potential to finish you off. A waste of a life. A waste of a life. Leaves behind a son who's 14. His ex-wife. His son's only 14, you know. waste. So yeah, all going on. We never know our luck, do we? We never know our luck. It's but it is luck, isn't it? One of the lads on here that watches on a regular basis, he lost his wife recently, and my heart goes out to you. And I've lost a number of people in my life. I've been close to. Well, I say close. One was my nan, who brought me up from an early age. So again, you know, there's that special bond. So I know how my daughter's feeling, because I know what it's like when my nan died. Bit of a story to that as well, actually. I was 9 when my nan died, so Mum and Dad didn't want to. Mum and my stepdad didn't want to tell me straight away. And they said, "Oh, you got to go. We're going down to Uncle Bry's, and we're going to leave you there while we sort. We need to go and do stuff." And, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" Now, I'd never heard the saying before. We're going to see a man about a dog, which is what my dad said. Well, I didn't realise that was a saying to like mind your own business. Well, it's none of your business. I thought we were getting a dog. I was really excited. So you can imagine my disappointment when not only were we not getting a dog, but my fucking nan had died. Yeah. So my nan died. My dear old dad, stepdad, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. And my godmother, who I was quite close to, my Aunt Lily. Oh yeah, my Aunt Lily. And I forgot my Aunt Lil. I was close to my Aunt Lil as well. That was sad when she went. So I used to go and stay with her quite often when my nan was on nights. She was the nurse. I used to go and stay with my Aunt Lil, just she lived, you know, a couple hundred yards down the road in the village. So I used to go and stay with her. Yeah. People in the army that have died. Don't get any easier, really, does it? Don't get any easier. But you gotta keep going, innit you? You gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. You know, we don't get long on this earth. So you've got to make the most of the short period of time that you got here. And I can't be honest, that's one thing that bothers me.
After a quarter of a mile, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit, M3, towards Bournemouth.
It's the one thing that bothers me is that, you know, like some people, they go on and they invent penicillin or they invent like a cure for something
right
or other.
on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Or they do something wonderful for charity, or they do, you know, they do all sorts of, you know, wonderful things like that. Now they leave a mark on humanity, or his society rather.
Take the
Just stop.
exit, M3, then
going
take
on
the
there?
motorway.
There's got an ambulance coming or something coming. Where that's going? Is that coming down here? Nope. And I don't feel like I've...
Follow M3 towards Southampton for 7.5 miles.
But I was talking to Gorgeous Kira about it the other day. You know, it's exactly the same thing about leaving your mark. No, I haven't. Well, I don't feel I have, you know, and which is why I get a bit emotional when someone says to me, when I get like a comment from you guys where it said, "Oh, it made me laugh." Well, if I can do that, that's my day complete. That makes my day. Doesn't matter what else I do that day. That my day is complete because I've made. I mean, the Gorgeous Girl always says that I've made her laugh in some way, shape, or form because most of the time I'm a bloody idiot. But if I can make someone else laugh apart from the Gorgeous Kira, then it really does top me off, you know. So I think it was it Craig? Craig? I don't know why I'm laughing. It's because it's not funny. But he had some toes removed. I hope you don't mind me saying. Well, you put it in the comments. So his weekend he had a toe removed. So I put on there. Well, you got to look on the positive side. On the plus side, you won't stub your toe during the night anymore. You got no toes to stub. And I put in comments. Oh, I'm really sorry. That was awful, but it just sort of come out. And he said, no, made me laugh. Made me laugh. So, and I don't know. If I can make someone laugh, then my day is complete. So I hope with some of the nonsense that I come out with, it does make you laugh or scowl. Or just make you think sometimes, you know, about your own, or about our own mortality, and not to waste life, not to worry about what others think. Because it don't matter what other people think of you. When it took me a long while. What? I turned that off. It took me a long while to stop caring about what other people think of me. Now, a little bit me still does, but not to any great extent. And you know, I'm a bit marmite, I suppose. If you like me, you like me, and if you don't, well, fuck off. I don't care. I'm not going to try and make you my friend. I'm not going to try and win you over. I don't have time. You know, and it's liberating. It really is liberating where you've got this attitude, you've got this mindset, if you like, and it's a positive mindset of thinking that you can't hurt me. You can say anything you like to me and you can't hurt me. There's nothing that you can say. Now don't get me wrong. People can still piss me off. And they do on a regular basis, as you well know, who listen to this channel regularly. Nearly every day someone pisses me off. But I don't care what people think of me. There's a difference. You know, I can have disagreements with people like my planners, and I do that on a weekly basis. Now we sort of rub along, get on alright actually, get on alright. But and as long as we can get on, that's fine. But if you turn around and went, you are complete and utter cock, I wouldn't lose any sleep over that. Or people I do get upset with people that well, saying that, the only times that I would say I would get slightly annoyed would be if someone said that to me that doesn't know me, that I haven't met, such as like on social media. And I mentioned it the other day about people slating off old Trucker Tim. Now, if you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't. But there's no point in slagging the bloke off. She's getting a bit carried away then. There's no point in slagging the bloke off, because have you ever met him? No. So how can you slag someone off that you haven't met? You just go, I don't like him, end the story. I'm not going to leave a comment, I'm not going to do anything. I just, yeah, those thoughts are mine. That's my opinion, I'm sticking to them. But you don't need to plaster them everywhere. I don't know, maybe, am I being hypocritical? I don't know, because I see a driver and I go, see that boy there, he's a cock. Maybe I am, maybe is that hypocrisy? Maybe I should have kept that thought to myself. Because have I met that bloke, he might be the really nice, sweetest bloke you ever known. He might raise millions of pounds for charities that I know nothing about. Yeah, he's driving like a knobber. And I slate him. Maybe it is, maybe that's hypocrisy. Maybe I'm just as bad as the people I'm talking about. Maybe I am. I don't know. What the fuck am I talking about? It's 4:16 in the morning and I've waffled from Newbury down to Winchester. Well, nearly Southampton actually. Beastly Easty I'm coming up to now. But this is my last day, so I normally waffle on my last day, don't I? It's Foot Down Friday, Cracker Jack Day. Cracker Jack! Go on, shout it out, shout it out! Make the neighbours hear. I think you're more barking than you are already. I'd like a psychiatrist and a philosopher to analyse.
After 1.2 miles, take the exit 13 M27 towards Southampton Docks.
I'd like a philosopher and a psychiatrist to analyse what I talk about. And from that, I'd like them to work out whether I need medication or not, or some sort of electrotherapy. Whoa, big old. Where did that come from?
After half a mile, take the exit 13M27 towards Southampton Docks.
So not this 13, it's the next 13, alright? Just so there's no confusion, alright? It's not that junction 13, because that's junction 13. It's this junction 13. Because of course that isn't confusing at all, is it?
Take the exit 13.
Oh yeah, see? Oh, 13, look. Yeah. Not confusing at all.
After 3/4 of a mile, keep right.
Keep right. Get back onto operating speed in a minute. Get under this gantry here. We're back on it. And I've talked enough. So
After half a mile, keep right.
here we go. Superstar DJ. Right, we're off. I'll see you all later on.